Top of the morning to you. Thank you for joining us this great Friday morning on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio and your state number one family radio station. Great morning to you. Thank you for joining us once again. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo, and this is Perspectives Unlimited, the program where we take you beyond the news and help you understand the major stories in Nigeria, fresh from the dailies, updates, information from the front pages of the newspaper. We take it higher and even make it better by also inviting in our very renowned analyst to jump on the stories and also help you understand them better with in-depth analysis. Once again, you're welcome to the program, Perspectives Unlimited. It is your show. We bring you the stories. Our analysts, break them down for us. And then we open the phone lines for you, our dear and darling listener, Nigerians, or you are great Nigerian, to call in and share your own perspective. There are different sides to every story. You see it from the left, others see it from the right, some from the top and other areas. Let's explore all of the areas that we can with the time that we have on the show this morning, and that is why it is called Perspectives Unlimited. Once again, you're welcome to the show. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. From our studio, it is 6:36 a.m. today, Friday, the 15th of August, 2025. This morning on the program, we have the Punch newspaper and the Guardian newspaper, and from the two dailies, we will give you stories making the round to Nigeria for the day. Let's start with the Punch newspaper on page 22. Federal government settles 2 trillion naira contractor bill, planned 2025 capital budget spending. And on page 21, government eye $4.5 billion oil production savings. Government eye $4.5 billion oil production savings on page 21. On page 7 of the Punch, Tambuwal fights back over 189 billion naira EFCC probe. On page 2, Okonjo-Iweala's position outlook on economy sparks political debate on page 2. And moving on to page 21, pension funds strike countdown begins as PENCOM, Labour disagree. PENCOM react. NSITF silent as Labour issues 7-day strike notice over alleged 40% pension fund diversion. That's the major story on the Punch for this morning. Moving on to page 20, PDP inaugurate 44-member zoning committee, demands Wike's total loyalty. Wow, that's a lot. Loyalty is a strong word here. All right, let's come to page 7. Sting operation. EFCC denies targeting Obasanjo. Arraigned suspect today. And on page 5, police crush armed robber operating from Lagos refuse dump. On page 5. And finally on page 29, by-elections. INEC deploys poll materials as parties end campaigns. That's on the Punch this morning. Let's move on to the Guardian newspaper. On page 3, economy now stable under Tinubu, says Okonjo-Iweala. On page 3. On the same page, federal government budget fresh 3.8 trillion naira for third mainland bridge repairs. 3.8 trillion naira for third mainland bridge repairs. And on page 3, still on the same page, insecurity cost Nigeria 7.17 trillion naira, wipes out 40% of livestock, report states. And on the major story on The Guardian, parties jostle for 16 seats as crucial by-election set stage for 2027. That's on page 6. And on page 5, NLC to picket NSITF, PENCOM, over alleged diversion of funds on page 5. On page 29, political parties to boycott Rivers local government election on page 29. On page 30, prison overcrowding Federal government tax public philanthropists on inmate decongestion. On page 30. On page 6, 2027, PDP chair harps on party loyalty. Stamboa tips ADC to defeat Tinubu. On page 6. On page 29, Umba commissions transport facilities, lauds Tinubu for subsidy removal. And finally, on page 30, military partners REA to power key facilities with solar. Those are the major stories on The Guardian this morning in Nigeria. Right, let's see what we have on the Nigerian Tribune very quickly. We can take a story or two. Top story on the Tribune.com this morning. Okonjo-Iweala hails Tinubu on reforms, says Nigeria's economy now stable. Another story, third mainland bridge rehabilitation to cost 3.6 trillion naira, says Umahi. Insecurity, Benue residents still counting losses or repeated attacks. We have that this morning. And finally here, attend to our needs in 7 days, NLC want federal government. And while I said finally, another story caught my attention. Federal government approves 9 new private universities nationwide. That's all we can take this morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the program Perspectives Unlimited. We appreciate you. Remember, you can find us on all our social media platforms. And most importantly, you can watch us this morning on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wales Radio 893 FM fan page, facebook.com/Wales Radio 893 FM fan page this morning. You can also watch us live on YouTube and, of course, stream us live from anywhere in the world on Radio Garden and on our website, www.walesradio893.com. We will be right back to stay with us.
He poured something on the pilot, according to what we heard. The pilot said he poured alcohol on her. And I remember telling one of the executives of the responsible agencies that whether it is water, whether it is alcohol, he has no right to get that thing on board any aircraft. That is the regulation. And there are about 6 points from the point access into the airport to the boarding gate. There are about 6 points for him to pass through. What happened along that line? Like I said in some of my comments, everybody is at fault. I will want to find out what happened at each point, including the VIP lounge. No VIP is exempted from being screened. No VIP is exempted from being screened. Even if you have a list of ministers that are going to pass through, the regulation says you must be screened. So how did they pass through all these points and they got there? Like I said, the good thing about the jet aircraft, the value jet, is that the door was closed. You could not enter the aircraft. It probably will have display a worse behavior than the lady that we are talking about inside the aircraft, because somehow along the line, what has happened is that he has a political power behind him.
Further buttress that point that, look, it appears like there has been 2 shades of justice. One for ease of conversation, Quam 1, Mr. Watsiu, and the other for Quam 2, Ms. Comfort. Whereas Quam 1 got off with a smack on his wrist, initially it was more like, 6 months investigation. For Quam 2, we didn't hear any statement like that. It was straight life ban. I mean, the punishment clearly did not fit the crime under the circumstance. Sincerely, it didn't fit the crime under the circumstance.
Nigeria, my very own dear nation. Good morning, Nigeria, once again. Good morning, your state, and good morning, Ibadan. This is Perspectives Unlimited, and of course, the program where we take you beyond the news. On Fridays, we quickly recap some of the biggest stories out of Nigeria for the week before we touch down the fresh stories of the day. The interesting part about major highlight for today is the fact that even some of the stories or some of the dailies in Nigeria this morning still have that particular story. As against some of the information that we worked on last week, there's a twist just about midweek, maybe Tuesday and even yesterday, and different angles of the story. But before we get to that, our analyst is in the studio. Mr. Olale Kosoni is with me. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Chief.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am doing well. How about you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much. Good morning to you once again. Well, twist of things, like I said. I mean, you sent me the link. You sent me the link. Federal government names Kwamwan Aviation Security Ambassador after the airport incident. All right. And another story says to also name the lady, Comfort, I believe that's her first name.
Comfort Emerson.
Yes, Comfort Emerson, also as an ambassador for, airline something. I saw that yesterday, also. And even a state to, award Comfort the sum of 500,000 naira. And then I'm wondering why. What did she do?
All expense paid trip.
All expense
including
paid
flights.
to where? What nation? To I think Doha or Dubai. Is it somewhere? I'm not sure now.
It's crazy.
Crazy. Let's look at the story really. The one about Kwamwan says the federal government has announced plans to engage Fuji star Wasiu Ayinde Marshal, popularly known as Kwamwan, as an ambassador for proper security airport protocol after the the recent controversy over his conduct at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. This was disclosed on Wednesday by the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, in a recent outlining resolution to recent cases of unruly behavior at the Nigerian airport. Keyamo said the Civil Aviation Authority had agreed to reduce Kwamwan's flight ban to 1 month and would work with the musician to promote awareness and acceptable conduct within the aviation authority. Another side of the story is that of justice from the audio I played earlier. Putting K1 the Ultimate Kwam 1 and Comfort, which a lot of Nigerians now regard as Kwam 2, side by side, and their offense, and why should Comfort, even though at the moment the story here says airlines lift flight ban on unruly Ibom Air passenger Comfort, and also she has also been released from the Kirikiri, prisons. But why should Comfort go should have be taken to Kirikiri in the first place? Looking at K1 the Ultimate walking back, going home and being in the comfort of his home all along. In fact, made a video to apologize, which is already on social media. I saw another video, I think, at another event on Saturday, singing Iwe Origin Moja, and begging Nigerians for whatever could have transpired, at that, national, location. But let's look at that quick recap. National or ambassador, for whatsoever reason, another ambassador, I believe, to be given to Comfort, the Ibom Air passenger, not to give to Comfort now, all right, but Comfort to get awarded or something, 500,000, all expense paid trip, for what exactly? What are we putting on the table? What are we showing children? Because this video made the rounds. Unfortunately, as Comfort's particular footage might be highly pornographic and indecent, it still made its way to the social media space and still circulating very powerfully. And in between that, yes, stigmatization should not be encouraged. However, how do we justify ambassadorial award for K1 the Ultimate Kwam 1, all expense paid trip, 500,000 naira for Kwam 2, which is Comfort? I'll let you weigh in on that very quickly.
Thank you very much. Simply because there is no penalty for bad behavior. For the girl, yes, unruly behavior can take people to jail. And I should say something very, very clearly here. This is not just my expectation. It is the expectation of the law. It is in a high CAO Act that should an airline officer or an airport officer tell you to do something, you must do it at a particular point in time. That is it. It is the word of the law, and you must follow it to the letter. For Olasunkanmi Ayinde, known as Kwamwan, he shouldn't be dealing with the NCA.
Okay.
He should be dealing with the SSS. Because as far as I'm concerned, what he did on that tarmac was as good as an act of terrorism. It is in the books of our country, the constitution, the laws of our land, that you dare not, for any reason, stop a plane from moving or do anything that can lead to a flight being diverted. And what did K1 do? K1 stood in front of an aircraft that must have been passed for takeoff and didn't allow that plane to move. And at the end of the day, this guy went back home. He gave a flimsy rant. Some call it an apology. I call it nonsense. Because 2-3 days after, I saw a video where he was threatening the owner of ValueJet.
Oh yes, I saw that, but not cannot now confirm whether that is. I mean, it sounds like him, but
I am a Fuji person. I know
so
the guy.
you can recognize the
yes,
voice. What if it was doctored? Artificial intelligence.
He hasn't said it was doctored. If it was doctored, he would have come out to say, "I didn't say that," and he was threatening Shoname that, you will feel my presence in this country. You will feel me in your business. Who exactly are you? Who the hell are you? And to rub salt to our injury, you are giving someone like that the prestigious title of an ambassador. I should say something here. There is no way in the constitution of our country or any other country where the president is supposed to be labeled as His Excellency. It's just an honor. Not the vice president, not the governor, not ministers, not senators. The only title that carries the swagger of His Excellency is an ambassador. Anywhere in the world, ambassador. Now that is the person. I mean, someone like K1, who did a show of shame, who exhibited what, in my own opinion, constituted security threats to all of us in this country, and you are giving him an award, a title that comes with His Excellency. Are we okay in this country? Some of us have been screaming at the top of our lungs that Nigeria is degenerating day in, day out because there is no penalty for bad behavior. Now it's not just not giving a penalty, it is now about rewarding a bad act. What happened during the week will have consequences for a long time to come. You are going to have a lot of spoiled brat, entitled brat, now misbehaving because they want to quote unquote trend. They want to get sponsored to any destination in the world, all expense paid, irrespective of the class of flight they choose to fly. They want to get a job that is going to give them a salary of 500K. I mean, you never can blame these people. Everybody wants to live large. And for people who don't want to do that, maybe because of gender or anything, they are going to say, I must be rich in this world. I must know people in power in this world. And we are in a country where coal mining is on the rise. People are being killed for ritual purposes every day. Do you think that's going to go down with what is on the ground? Nobody wants to be disrespected. That is it. And it's not everybody that can go through the right channel of building themselves up. Most people would rather cut corners. And now you are rewarding people cutting corners by giving them an ambassadorial role when they should have been in the Yellow House in Abuja DSS headquarters. I do not support this. The girl should have been punished, but like I said, the punishment of the girl should have been dwarfed by that of K1. K1 should be dealing with terrorism charges right now, while the girl should be dealing with charges related to unruly behavior while on board.
All right, for a station like ours, Wells Radio 89.3 FM, being a family radio station, it's a serious concern, especially because we do not, as we usually encourage good character and great behavior in the society, and to see that with the assignment and the mandate, such outbursts or reaction. Action in public can still, come with so much decoration and come with so much accolades. It's still, a major concern there.
I don't know if you can still remember. I told you last week that the NCAA was now playing a game.
From 6 months to
initially
until
it was 6
investigation.
months.
Yeah,
Later they said, pending the outcome of our investigation. Now they have said, ditch the investigation. It's now 1 month. I knew something was going to happen. The moment NCAA started that drama.
Why do you think something? Is it because K1 The Ultimate is the official musician
Not
to
just
the president?
musician, he's the president's son, he's the president's friend, he's the president's brother. Minding how we have been doing things in this country. Look, it's not just in the area of entertainment and aviation. Look at the immediate past chairman of AMCON, Kuru. This is a guy that was accused of siphoning 60 billion naira. His friends and heads have already been indicted such that they have returned 6 billion. Guess what the federal government did? We are no longer taking this guy to court. We want to settle out of court. It is the trend. It has been happening like that for some time. So when the issue of K1 happened, I was like, this administration, that's their hallmark. They are going to do what they usually do. And they didn't disappoint me. And in all seriousness, I am not saying a negative word of effect into Nigeria, but it's a statement of fact that cannot be hidden. If we continue on this path, if we continue in this trajectory, we may not get it right. I don't want to say we won't, but we may never get it right if we continue like this. Imagine the effect it would have had on the psyche of everybody if someone had been jailed.
To sit up.
Everybody's going to say, calm down. If the president's friend can be jailed,
And go through this.
who are you?
Who are you not to do?
it?
So which means we should expect Quam 3, Quam 4, and even more Quams.
Say Quam 1000.
as
We
as
are
we
going
go
to
on.
get Quam 1000. And it's not just going to be in the aviation sector. It is going to be everywhere.
Everywhere.
Now let me leave you with a question. If this can be so clear to everybody that this guy messed up, we all saw it on video and all of that, and yet the letter told us, you guys aren't right, we saw some things we didn't see. In fact, we are going to give him an ambassadorial role. Have you thought of what is happening behind the scene, behind the cameras in our security sector, in our economy? Can you think of the deals they are cutting and signing behind our back, such that the country is still where it is today? Can you answer why 5 trillion keeps going into security every year and the situation keeps getting worse?
It's a big question.
That's a question for everybody.
It's a big question. All right. In Delta State Gov Aid offers Comfort 500,000 naira job and luxury trip. In an Instagram post on Wednesday, OCI revealed that the monthly salary of 500,000 has been secured for Comfort in Delta. The package he added also includes flight ticket, 5-star hotel accommodation, a guided tour, and a ticket to the Delta Social Media Summit slated from the 28th of August in Asaba. I'm offering Comfort, a complimentary trip to Delta State, known as a Big Heart and Global Tourism Hub. Additionally, a job with a monthly salary of 500,000, and I've secured Delta State's. Wow, interesting stuff. We take a break now. When we come back, we look at more stories on Perspectives Unlimited. We talk about pension is in the news this morning. To stay with us.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817 665 7060, 0707 338 4828, SEC 0209 462 1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ polówó ọjà yín lórí rédíò tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ máa ta wàràwàrà bọ́ mẹ́ta ṣe ń tà West Radio ní kẹ́ ẹ máa bọ̀ o àfẹ̀tiwa gbé tiyín lárugẹ. owó ò ga jara lọ o. Come for your jingle and advertisement at West Radio 89.3 FM. gbogbo lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́ àti lájọ̀lájọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá àti kéékèèké ẹ̀yin ilé ìjọsìn pátápátá ẹ máa bọ̀ ẹ wá gbé wò ẹ jẹ́ wò ẹ jọ́ wò ẹ tọ́ wò jọ́ ọ̀gá ni mástà. kí lẹ tún dúró ṣe náà. ẹ má ṣe tàbí ṣùgbọ́n o. ẹ máa bọ̀ wá sílé iṣẹ́ wa. gbàǹgbà la wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ títì. ilé funfun pẹ̀lú àwọ̀ búlù. West Broadcasting House ní Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ìbàdàn, Ọ̀yọ́ State, Nàìjíríà. ẹ̀lú 07066165053 tàbí 08035093394. West Radio 89.3 FM. Ọlọ́run gbọ́ gbogbo ń tẹ́ fẹ́ ojú kan ló wà.
Welcome back to the program. Thank you for joining us once again. It's Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Very quickly, let's talk about the by-election by the North local government election tomorrow. Just like I said before coming up, that a lot of people in your state, in particular the capital city, Ibadan, do not even know that tomorrow a local government in this, in Ibadan, will be having election, even though there will be restriction of movement in these areas. But I would want you to quickly educate us. What is the by-election about? So we don't assume that everyone really know what's up to it and what the election is all about.
Thank you. We had a rep member in Ibadan North, Honorable Oluremi Jagaban, who suddenly passed away last year. He wasn't ill, nothing was wrong with him, and he slept, but the biological clock failed him the following morning. And according to the law, you cannot have a seat vacant for, according to the law, 3 months, but INEC has decided to extend it beyond 3 months, and they said, okay, instead of Ibadan alone, we want to have, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 16 by-elections that we'll be holding tomorrow. They want to do everything on the same day. And like I said, Ibadan North, which is actually a local government and at the same time a, federal constituency, that rarely happens. It's like 4 local governments teaming up to make a federal constituency. But because Ibadan North is so densely populated, just one local government is making a federal rep, and they are conducting an election tomorrow to fill in the void that is there. 5 parties are contesting: the PDP, ADC, SDP, and the ZLP. So this time tomorrow there will be no movement. As from 12 a.m. this night, there will be no movement anymore, and that's just it. We cannot say much about it as regards the chance of the people contesting, because according to law, a day before election, there should be no conversations around that anymore. So what we are telling people living in Ibadan North tomorrow is that they should go out en masse
and vote.
Their civic rights.
I mean, and of course, this election is also very significant, as we're already warming up for the 2027 election. And so every election, whether by-election or local government election in some states, it's very significant right now, as it would give us a bigger picture of what the 2027 election would look like. Let's take this call. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you? Your name and where you're calling us from?
This is Miriam from Odega.
Good morning, Miriam. Talk to us.
As regards the by-election, I hope INEC will be able to expectation this time around and deliver a credible process. Because many Nigerians have already lost faith in their to conduct a free and fair election. So this is the opportunity for them to regain their image. And I also think that this is the time that we need youth in politics. Enough of these old men that are just pushing us there and there. I believe that if you have youth in politics, things will get better. So the people of Ibadan should just go out en masse and cast their vote.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Miriam. Thank you so much. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4, 893, and 0911-333-893. Talking about the election. By elections, INEC deploys poll material as party ends their campaign. Just like our analyst said, we cannot say much right now, as election is already tomorrow. Hello, good morning to you. Yes, good morning, sir. That's Mr. Tayo, right?
Yes, sir. You're right.
Good morning, Mr. Tayo. Yes, sir.
Yes. You see, if you observe very well, you see that the Nigerians no longer call a radio studio just they are pleased about the state of the nation. Am I not right? I've just listened to a radio program now. As I speak to you, only about 3 people are called. And the popular radio station whereby people know especially that feelings about the state of the nation. But what the bottom line is that nothing has changed about average Nigerian life. Things are getting worse every day. That's why people are, because whatever expression, whatever they say, on your radio station, even though the authorities, maybe they had, nothing has changed. They've cannot moved. And Nigerians are getting worse. Things are getting worse for Nigerians every day. Are you getting it? So that you are trying. Radio station, it's very Ibadan. You are trying. You are letting the government know what is going on with the people, with the masses. But they are not listening. So the now concluded that why would they be waiting that with child card, hard-earned money to buy card and call the radio station, wait to an authority that won't listen to them or care about them. On the issue of EFCC and Obasanjo, that analyst said that the energy DC.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Ruth calling from Malakia.
Ruth from Malakia. Good morning, Ruth.
Yes, sir. The by-election that will take place tomorrow, it's really a good one, which I will urge INEC to work their talk in giving us a free and fair election. And I will urge the Ibadan youth and everyone to please come out to cast their vote, because that's the only way to really get it right. So I will urge the Oyo State government to please provide adequate security throughout tomorrow. And I pray everything will go as we want. Good morning.
Amen. Good morning. Thank you so much. I totally disagree with Mr. Tayo that the government do not listen. because I can tell you for sure that they do listen. However, what they now choose to do with that information is what matters. But do the government really listen? Oh yes, they do, and that's a known fact that they listen. Hello, good morning to you.
Oh, good morning, World Radio.
Good morning, Mr. Salami from Awoto.
Oh, my dear brother, God bless you, sir.
God bless you too.
Good morning, Mr. Sonny.
Good morning, sir.
All right, sir. God bless you, sir. I would still like to get a little more on the issue of K1 and the absurdity displayed at the airport. The point is that for him to have come out, more emboldened, because that is the thing now. That at least, because what I expected Mr. President to do is to at least disappoint Nigerians, because most of us had already predicted where to end and how it will go. Look at them so Lomo today. Common criminals are now president's friends. Can you imagine? And they dictate things and even flaunt it. They tell you nothing will happen and nothing will happen. This is not the way to go. And Mr. President has reached a stage in the global stage that eyes are on him. One would have expected at least, even if it's going to be licensed later, the Kwame issue should have been handled differently. At least we should have been handed some punitive measures. Some punishment will have been made, even if it's going to be kind of licensed later. But here we are, awarded what's it called, with Ambassador Road and the rest. And I can assure you, sir, that even all the accolades, all the awards given to comfort of the world, even energy, is a kind of it's an afterthought for the public outcry of double standard. That is the normal thing they have done to send us to where she actually belongs. Anybody that has brought the nation to a national disrepute must face the Abdul Muttalab today that was kind of caught in U.S. When he was accused of a life of terrorism. It's not having left jail in U.S. prison. I think we understand that is where the standard in the prison. Unlike Nigeria, where we turn things around, we have to suit certain class of people. A nation is not built that way. And I will expect Mr. President to kind of please. I don't know, but at least they should at least make one happy, at least for once. That is just it. As for the other lady comfort and what have you, what anybody is ready to offer a $5 million job monthly, provided they're happy with what he has done and type of life he's living. But by and large, and above it all, the way they have handled something, this airport saga, has sent a totally wrong message to the younger generation. Everyone now believes that do something crazy, you go scot-free.
All right.
Do something crazy, have some people behind you shouting.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Salami.
You come out from.
Yeah. Oh, we lost that call. Thank you so much, Mr. Salami. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. There's another call on the line. Let's take this. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio.
Mr. George from Olugmeru. Good morning.
Yes, George.
We got your picture anyways about your transformer in your community.
Yes.
I'll speak to you later on that. But go ahead with your thought.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I think we should not assume that these people are not listening to us. If they were not listening to us, there wouldn't have been these changes in their decisions. For example, from one working home, and this get taken straight to the Kirikiri. I think it's because of the voice of the people that made them to make those changes. But we are not satisfied with it because it's not even affecting the other areas that we are talking about, in the area of politicians. If you check very well, there is none of those past governors and some of the ministers who are today at that head of administration that have not been involved in one particular fraud that has been arrested or even taken by the EFCC. It's not a good sign for this country. And what they are doing is even greater than this noise we are making for, sorry for using the word noise, the thing we are shouting for over 1 week now concerning misbehavior. Which one is greater? Person who stole trillions, billions, and the one who just says, no, I will not do it, or you cannot move. Which one is greater? We are suffering. People are dying. People are in hunger. And yet, the government has not been able to arrest anybody or deal with anyone. Recently, they started going to arrest people who left office since almost 7 to 6 years ago, simply because there's policies coming up 2027. So these are the things that is making people to feel that they are not listening to us. EFCC should go after those people. It's an election that is coming again now. All their ill-gotten wealth, they are going to use it again so that they will remain in office and continue with this style of administration that is putting the masses into problem.
All right,
that is my take this morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. Thank you so much for your time. Areas that will be affected by the restriction in Ibadan North local government area from 12 midnight, which is, do we say tonight or the next morning? But from 12 midnight today, really, into Saturday morning, Songwele Akpete Jokodo, University of Ibadan area, Agbowo Express, Agbowo in itself, Bere Odeye, and also Gate Basharon, Ashi, Mokola, and Adama Singba access. Again, some people are still not aware that there will be a by-election in a local government in Oyo State tomorrow, Ibadan to be precise. So if you have that information, please let's spread that information so we are not caught up, in that restriction. Otherwise, you will face, security situation in the state. Before we go to the third mainland story, I would like us to talk about this pension story. Pension fund strike countdown begins as PENCOM Labour disagree. The Nigeria Labour Congress has threatened a nationwide strike if the federal government fails to return what it claims to be billions of naira taken from workers' insurance contributions. It also demanded that the government fill the leadership gap in the country's pension regulatory commission within a week. The NLC accused the federal government of siphoning 40% of contributions from the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund into the National Treasury. The fund, which is financed by the payroll deductions from millions of workers, is meant to protect them in the event of injury or job loss. However, the National Pensions Commission argued that the contributory pension scheme remains secure and continue to grow as it kicks against claims of missing funds. That's just a major highlight of the story. I want our analysts to say something on that.
Thank you.
Very quickly.
When this administration came on board, they came up with a policy saying that 40% of whatever is in the coffers of any public organization, public corporation, belongs to the federal government, such that they said that schools should start remitting, I'm talking about universities here, remitting 40% of school fees to the federal government. And ASU screamed then, almost everybody screamed then, they said, okay, let's forget about schools, but every other government office is going to send 40%. And I think they didn't exempt the NSITF, National Social Insurance Trust Fund. Now the Labour Congress is saying that this is not federal government's money. This is money that we are setting aside from our own salary to secure our future. That at the end of the day, the federal government is going to contribute its own part too and use it to fund our future when we are living our post-service era. But the federal government sees that money as revenue, and they have been taking it straight into government accounts, not residing with the NSITF anymore. And that spells danger. That is not good. That is not making sense, because instead of you having a fund that you can fall back on when you're out of service, the federal government is using that money to do all sorts of things, and that is not how it should be. What I'm saying here is that the federal government should leave that money untouched. The federal government should remit money being deducted for national housing funds from civil servants. The federal government should keep remitting its own share of pensions into pension funds, administrators' accounts, and things like that. As regards the issue of a board, the PENCAM board has statutory members from the NLC. People who are also going to have their eyes on what they are contributing. For years now, that particular agency of government has no board. So there is no way the NLC can see what is happening inside. So that is why they are saying constitute a board so that we can be a part of that board and have access to how you are managing our funds.
Managing the funds.
Yes.
Very important. Let's talk about this Third Mainland Bridge story. That's the popular Third Mainland Bridge. The Third Mainland Bridge rehabilitation cost to cost 3.6 trillion naira. Just when we're talking about the Murtala Mohammed International Airport at about a week from last week, the Minister of Works, David, yes, David Umahi has disclosed that the rehabilitation of the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos will cost the federal government about 3.6 trillion naira, explaining that extensive underwater damage threatened the country's busiest bridge. And briefing journalists after Wednesday's Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja, Umahi said recent assessment revealed since the toleration to the bridge pillars and piles, largely caused by illegal sand mining, erosion in the area. He added that the rehabilitation works are now estimated at 3.8 trillion naira, while constructing an entirely new bridge would cost slightly less, about 3.6 trillion. I need to read that part. That's line again.
You are a very brilliant and articulate newscaster. I've never seen you stutter or stumble while reading, but you couldn't help it because it wasn't making sense to you.
And that's why I said maybe we take the lines again.
No, you didn't
hopefully I didn't skip anything.
You didn't skip anything.
Yeah. All right.
What Umahi is telling us that we have a structure on the ground. There is metal, there is concrete, there is beam, there is column, there is everything. To fix what is on the ground, 3.8
trillion. Yes.
But to build a new
fresh would cost slightly less.
3.6
about
trillion.
3.6
How exactly
trillion.
is this making sense to you? I had to come in there where you began to read, because there is no way a right-thinking human being will not stutter. When I went through that stuff yesterday, I was like, I had to wipe my eyes again. Am I saying clearly here? It tells you that the guy is not making sense. Let's now go into the details. He said there is illegal sand mining. I am a frequent user of that road. I see activities on that road. I see transportation, people moving from one side of Lagos to the other. I see people who are doing fishing activity in that body of water. Not for once have I seen people mining sand along that bridge. That is number one. He gave another reason. He said erosion. Yes, there can be underwater erosion, but underwater erosion only happens when you have a fast moving river. Third Mainland Bridge, that water, the lagoon is always still. So cut the idea of erosion away.
So you doubt all that the Honorable Minister said?
I'm not just doubting.
As regards whether there is need for maintenance.
No, there is always going to be need for maintenance. I should tell Nigerians that this administration has spent over 20 billion naira on that bridge within 2 years. Over 20 billion naira already.
Let's take this call very quickly. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Benga. Good morning. Good morning. Let's talk to you in a minute or two.
Why would that minister why would he give us an assertion of that huge amount? Because the thing is, they always take with Nigerians for a ride. They always take us for a ride. And they knew that Nigerians will keep quiet. Like, even if you utter a word, nothing will be done. They will spend their money on that project and no head to road. We EFCC will not be running after them after leaving office. It's only EFCC that will be running after shade, after shadow. look at the ICC that was built in Abuja by UK. Do you know the amount UK said used in refurbishing the ICC? Billions of naira. Have you seen Nigerian stockings? After UK leaves that office now, do you think the EFCC will not after him to come and tell us how much it really spend on that ICC? They always be taking up a rise. The Minister of Power, Adelabu, came to Ibadan to come and this week or last week to come and commission his housing project. You see that house project, you will be grasping for bread. And it's this the guy that was telling us that he didn't spend government money on the house that is commissioning. So who is fooling who? The ambassador and Jabata, you don't follow for the outside not line. Those who are wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Benga. Thank you for your time.
Back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
I am not just...
Oh, sorry about that. There's another call on the line. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, West Radio.
All right, Mr. George. Very quickly, sir, in 1 minute.
May God bless you, Mr. Sonny.
Are you too, sir?
Immediately he read that thing and the speech of Umai. My mind went to the 2 points you raised now in the area of fishing and sand excavation. And there is nothing like that there. They just want to collect money. They want to embezzle money through those constructions that they are proposing to carry out. There is no excuses for their action. It is just going straight to say, let's start this project so that we make our money. That is just it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. George.
Let me now make some comparisons. The longest bridge in the world is in China. It is a bridge spanning 164 kilometers. The Chinese government used $8.5 billion to build it. Our home bridge is just 11.8. If you do the maths, we shouldn't spend more than $670 million, which is around ₦1 trillion to build a brand new world-class, far better than that gutter that we have there, standard bridge with ropes, with chains, lengths, everything. We shouldn't be spending more than $670 million, which is around ₦1 trillion to build something of that standard. But here, we want to use money in the range of $2.6 billion to renovate an existing structure at Biola Toby.
It is well. That's all we can take this morning. Thank you so much for your stay. Thank you so much, Mr. Sonny, for your time. It is always an honor to be here. We hope to be back again with the weekend edition, obviously on Friday. We'll be back by God's grace. And of course, I just hope that we won't be repeating the Kwam story next week. I hope so.
It may not happen next
because
week.
Because initially when Kwam 1 happened, we didn't see Kwam 2 come
up. You are
up.
going to read up to what? Kwam 1000.
Unfortunately, it is well. Tomorrow, Ibadan North local government by-election, Wales Radio 89.3 FM team will be on ground, at the local government. By God's grace, I will be in the studio. Mr. Sonny will also be here while we speak to you both in English and in Yoruba to give you a live update of what's happening in the area. Remember, let's note some of the areas very quickly that will be affected. That's what do I mean by being affected? Restriction of movement. Songwe, Leele, Akpete, Jokodo, Agbowo, UI, Agbowo Express, Bere, J, Gate, Basharu, Ashi, Mokola, and the Adamasingbe axis. Tell someone to inform someone that will be on tomorrow. Thank you for listening. God bless you, and God bless your state. Good morning.
Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.
The hits just keep on. We got your music, your request.
Number one and on all-time favorites.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome